To the City of Bellevue Special City Council meeting for Monday, August 24th, 2020. Council and staff are typically on vacation in August, but we've come together tonight for some important business that frankly couldn't wait until September. So Mr. Miyake is on vacation and we have Deputy City Manager Nathan McCommon in his place. And Councilmember Robertson is calling in on the phone, but will be joining us on her computer soon. So the sound quality may be a little different for her. So we'll start with roll call. City Clerk.
Mayor Robinson. Mayor Robinson.
Here.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Newenhouse.
Here.
Councilmember Barksdale.
Here.
I'm here.
Councilmember Lee.
Here.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yeah, I'm here.
Present.
Councilmember Stokes.
Here.
And Councilmember Zahn.
Here.
Thank you.
So is the sound quality poor for you hearing me?
It appears that we're having a little bit of a lag on some of the council member connections. That's why we're kind of, we're a little bit delayed in the timing.
Okay, but okay, I'll just continue on then. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thank you. So I want to thank the council for coming in tonight from the vacation. I also want to thank staff and the Human Service Commission that met specially to make a recommendation for these resolutions tonight. These are covering month-to-month needs in our community, and I just really appreciate everybody coming together tonight. So, Mr. Shiosaki, could you please give us an overview of resolutions 9812 and 9813?
Good evening, Mayor Robinson, Deputy Mayor Newenhouse, and City Council members. Thank you so much for agreeing to convene this special meeting during the council recess. It's greatly appreciated. At your last council meeting, at which you voted to allocate CARES Act funding to human services needs, you also directed staff to move quickly to get these funds into the community to begin helping Bellevue residents. So we're happy to report that tonight we're here to ask for your authorization to award 2 of the grants that address food scarcity that exceed $90,000 to organizations that are already helping Bellevue residents, but will be able to quickly utilize additional dollars. For more details about the actions we're requesting of the City Council this evening, I'll turn it over to Alex O'Reilly, our Human Services Manager, who's filling in for Tony Esparza, the Assistant Director, who is on vacation. So I'll turn it over to you, Alex. Thank you so much.
Alex, are you unmuted?
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Okay, I hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Charmaine, could you proceed with the slide? Next slide, please. Thank you. So good evening, Mayor Robinson, Deputy Mayor Newenhouse, City Council members. As Michael stated, we're here tonight to seek direction on 2 agreements related to the CARES Act funding you approved earlier this month. Next slide, please. The funds we're discussing this evening are the ones dedicated to food scarcity. The total amount of that funding is $300,000. Next slide. In determining what agencies to recommend for funding, staff took into account principles of fairness, the speed with which the agency could spend the funds given the short timeline, funding more agencies, and how the agency does outreach to underserved communities in Bellevue. These are all council principles. For example, HopeLink has a food bank in Bellevue for people to pick up a box of food and also has a mobile food truck that will start up again in September that goes to the Lake Hills neighborhood. 53% of their food bank users are people of color. All the agencies recommended for funding are known to extend their reach as far as possible and partner with other groups to meet the needs for food. Another example is that the Bellevue School District Family Connection Center provide help not only to families with students currently enrolled, but those with young children who are not yet in school but need help in the district. In determining what amount of funds to award each organization, Human Services staff had extensive conversations with representatives from each agency to ask what their needs for food assistance were related to the impacts of COVID-19. Each were somewhat different depending on the population they serve, but we wanted to ensure a wide range of Bellevue residents were assisted. As Michael said, 2 of the grants approved by the Bellevue Human Services Commission last week were over $90,000 and thus must be approved by council. They are $160,000 for the Bellevue School District and $127,000 for Hope Lincoln Bellevue. 2 other awards that are listed here on the screen for your information are under the $90,000 threshold and did not require additional authorization or resolution by council. $10,000 was awarded to the Salvation Army to purchase food for their hot meal program, which they serve as takeout to ensure social distancing. They do this program 5 days a week at their Bellevue facility. $3,000 has been awarded to Renewal Food Bank, a small food bank that operates from space in Highland Covenant Church in Bellevue. They serve the need for many refugees and immigrants who do not want to go to larger agencies or feel more comfortable because it's in a church. Staff have worked to streamline the process so contracts with agencies providing relief for food will be signed and funds will be distributed within the next 2 weeks. The contracts and scopes of work for these agencies include a requirement that after receiving the funds, a monthly report must be submitted with the number of people served, the number of units expended, such as meals or boxes of food, and the amount of the grant spent. This is to monitor that the funds are spent in a timely manner and that the number of units served and people helped are met according to their contracts. Staff have been mindful of keeping a delicate balance between requesting data that is important for statistical analysis and the need for the agencies to maintain their relationships as trusted messengers within communities, many that are wary of government and being asked for too much information in order to obtain help. Staff are also aware of a growing number of first-time users of human services, such as food, having maybe just lost their jobs and not really knowing where to go for help. And lastly, I want to say that none of the funds that are being awarded for food scarcity include any personnel costs. So all the funds will be used for food and other basic needs. Can you change the slide, please? And as shown on this slide, staff are working on the applications for the Emergency Financial Assistance Funds, and the Human Services Commission will review them this Thursday night at their special meeting. This concludes our presentation, and I would be happy to answer any questions that the council may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm gonna go in order with Deputy Mayor Newhouse first, since he's the liaison for the Human Services Commission, then Council Member Stokes, Robertson, Zahn, Lee, Barksdale, and then me. So Deputy Mayor, go ahead if you have any questions or comments.
Thank you, Mayor. No questions for me, but just want to thank staff and specifically Tony and Alex there and the entire Human Services Commission for their great work and continue to really debate and address a lot of these issues that are affecting residents from the city of Bellevue, and just really appreciate their fine work and ready to pass these 2 resolutions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Stokes.
Yeah, I agree with the Deputy Mayor's comments, and really great work, and it's really exciting to have the opportunity to provide these funds. It's not nearly enough, but it's a lot better than what they have, and it's great we can get these moving along, and appreciate everybody being able to come together and pass these. No other questions on it. The recommendations were very well done, and it's very clear. So I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mayor. No questions, just happy to pass this on and really appreciate that we're getting this out quickly, and wanted to make sure that I commented that HopeLink and Bellevue School District have been really excellent partners to the city and to the community, because they have been incredibly effective at getting food and other resources out to the community. And so I'm happy to partner with them yet again.
Thank you. Councilmember Zahn.
Yes, I'm also very thankful for staff and my fellow council members for coming together so quickly and supporting these organizations to get the funding because they have been just integral during the COVID time as well as throughout the many years. I did have one question, and that is that we're expecting all the funds to be used as soon as possible for food then, because my understanding is that the funds have to be dispersed by the end of October. Is that correct?
I can address that, Councilmember Zahn. We have been in discussion with our budget office and with our attorneys, and what we learned was that the agencies do have until December 31st to expend the funds. They are, because they will be getting basically the funds up front, and then they can use it, as I mentioned in my presentation, and give us monthly reports between when they receive the funds and at the end of the year. So this gives them a couple of more months to spend the money, and all of the agencies that have been recommended gave us a very clear outline of how they will spend the money in that time frame.
Great, thank you. I'm excited to support it.
Thank you, Councilmember Zahn. Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As everybody kind of know, I'm very interested in this program, and because I felt, we can, number one, obviously, COVID-19 has exposed a lot of folks never experienced before, a lot of vulnerability to their livelihood. So I really appreciate the city of Bellevue has already done. We already awarded like over $1 million, in the last couple of months, and to address this need. And so this continues to do so with two big goals I had in mind. One is obviously helping people who are in need. There's no question about it, in a timely fashion. And two, was going to reach people who have been underrepresented and the community that has been underrepresented. So I think I've talked to the Deputy City Manager, Nathan McCarman, and talked to Tony. And recently I talked to Alex O'Reilly, and I really appreciate their understanding of what our goal is. I think the council's goal is, beside just giving the help to people, also want to build capacity to the community that has not been traditionally working with the cities, through the cities, because of all the governmental regulations and red tapes. But this is direct money that we can actually get to people's hand and opening up a new door and build capacity through some new organizations that they have not been working with the city before. So I really appreciate their understanding of it. You just heard from Tony, from Alex O'Reilly, that we're looking at, targeted, trusted messengers and first-time users. I think these are all very good. So I appreciate they're making such a good effort to accomplish these purposes. So I have a question. Obviously, there's many organizations that has been working with the city already, but hopefully they will also look at how to use partners, distribute the funds through their operation to reach the underrepresented communities and organizations to build this capacity. One question I have is Highland Covenant Church. Where is it located? Just curious. Is it a new agency hopefully, these are the agencies that we can open up doors, get new communities and new, people. So where's the Highland Community or Covenant Church located?
Highland Covenant Church, excuse me, is on Belred Road. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact address.
Very good.
And it has been in the community we have funded it for probably about 12 years or so. It used to be located in another church that was in the Factoria area. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a smaller food bank. People feel more intimate there in terms of, going into rather than into a larger building. Yeah.
Very good. So I definitely feel that, you understood the goal of the city council and doing the best you can to achieve those goals. So I strongly support this program. And so I look forward to what the Human Service Commission would do to continue reaching out to new communities, new agencies, and other folks that has not been traditionally served. So I will support this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Lee. Councilmember Barksdale.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Just also want to just say thanks to everybody, the commission, staff, and council members for coming together to make sure we get these funds out. And it's good to hear that we are working through partners and making sure that the people who need the food the most are receiving the benefits. So I support this and really appreciate the work that's gone into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Barksdale. Alex, I had one question. I know that there are some new organizations that have stepped up to the plate to provide food to our community who have not applied for human service funding.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's too late for them to apply now for this round. Isn't that correct?
That's correct, Mayor. Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to accommodate these organizations that have been, doing such a good job over these last 4 months and didn't even really exist to do this before this disaster? I just wonder if there's a way to increase or allow some more applications for funding.
Well, one thing that I can say, Mayor Robinson, is that some of the organizations I think you might be referring to, such as the Backpack Meals for Kids, and there is an organization that coordinates food trucks that gives vouchers to people. They get these vouchers from churches and actually from the family connection centers. Some of these organizations are actually going to, the smaller organizations you mentioned, are going to really benefit from the larger organizations that we are being able to fund, like the Bellevue School District and HopeLink, because there is a recognition by the larger organizations that they have more capacity. So in some cases, and they have put out some very great examples of this, they are coordinating or bringing excess food that they may have to the smaller organizations and vice versa. So helping the Backpacks for Kids meals be supplied by some of the, perhaps some food that HopeLink can get from Food Lifeline that they can donate. So there's been that kind of collaboration. I think at this point, what we would probably be trying to do is help these smaller agencies find other funding sources, because we have access to a lot of different emails and announcements about funding for their food supplies. So I think at this point we would not have a way to open up an actual request for proposal, but we will look for other ways to make sure that they're aware of opportunities for food.
Okay, so maybe I'll just have them contact you.
Yes,
and see if they are already in a partnership with what you're talking about, or if there's another way that they could receive some funding, because I'm trying to think, Janice, maybe you remember the name of It's not Farmer Frog.
Nourishing Networks is one that has been doing a lot of the networking with the different food providers. They have weekly meetings. And
That one, but also I was thinking of Farmer Frog, who's doing the distribution of all the potatoes.
The East West Rescue Organization. Yes.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
So anyway, Alex, if you haven't heard from those two already, I will send them your way.
Thank you. I'd
And
love to
maybe
help.
you could give everybody your contact information for anyone who's listening.
Yes, my contact information is aoreilly@bellevuewa.gov, spelled AOREILLY.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we have two resolutions on the table tonight, and I think that we can easily make a motion for both of them at the same time. So Deputy Mayor, would you like to make a motion?
Certainly. I move to approve Resolution 9812, authorizing execution of agreement with the Bellevue School District for $160,000. And I also move to approve Resolution 9813, authorizing execution of an agreement with HopeLink for $127,000.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Terrific. Well, great work. Thank you, everybody. Now you can go back to whatever you were doing, and we will see you in September. Thank you. Good night. This
Great.
meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.